What's going on, guys? Killer6 here with a review of tomorrow's new Borderlands the pre-sequel DLC, which is Lady Hammerlock, the Baroness. Now, she is touted as the older, cruel sister of Sir Hammerlock, but the Baroness is a lethal sniper when you spec into her Huntress tree, where she gains insane damage bonuses for using sniper rifles. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at her skill trees, so let's get right into it. So first off, her action skill is called Cold as Ice. You press your action skill to throw your false diadem shard? I'm not sure. Diadem? I don't know. It's a weird name. Alright. So your shard automatically seeks out and attacks enemies, doing cryo damage to them. So the active duration on your skill is 21 seconds there. Alright, so let's go down the left tree real quick. You got Markswoman. You gained increased critical hit damage and increased aim speed with all gun types. That is nice. And then you got Only the Best. You gain increased bullet speed and increased gun damage with all weapon types. That's kind of like Velocity was for Zero back in the day. Alright, then you got Culling the Herd. Now on this one you gain increased gun damage with all weapon types for a few seconds after landing a critical. So this tree basically here, the Huntress tree, is all about landing crits and staying on target and doing massive amounts of damage. So long range killer. When shooting enemies, you deal bonus damage based on the distance to the enemy, so the further away they are, the greater the bonus. So again, rewarding you for good aim, good accuracy, and for sniping. Now, Warning Shot. You gain increased fire rate, accuracy, and critical hit damage for a few seconds after missing a shot with a sniper rifle. So that one's kind of a weird one. Silver Lining. You kill an enemy with a critical hit and it adds a bullet to your magazine. I Never Miss. Shooting an enemy with a sniper rifle grants you a stack of I Never Miss. You gain increased sniper rifle crit damage for each one of those stacks that you have, and you lose all the stacks when you miss again. Alright, Magic Bullet. Whenever you score a critical hit with a sniper rifle, you gain health regen. The amount of health regen is based on the distance to the enemy. The closer to the enemy, the greater the regen. Additionally, whenever you score a critical hit with a sniper rifle on an enemy, you create a healing nova centered around that enemy that also gives any player inside the radius a second wind, which is amazing. So like if you got a teammate down and you can snipe that enemy, you revive your teammate, which is a really awesome skill. This one's called Wait For It. Missing a shot with a sniper rifle grants you a stack of Wait For It. You gain increased sniper rifle damage for every stack. Scramble. After receiving melee damage, you can gain increased movement speed, weapon swap speed, and gun damage with all weapon types. Large Caliber. You gain decreased magazine size and increased gun damage for all weapon types. And Custom Loads. When zoomed in with a sniper rifle, a wheel scrolls by with icons featuring each of the elemental damage types. Time your shots with the highlighted damage to apply that damage type to your shots. Critical hits also create a small nova of the highlighted element. That is a really cool skill. I will be interested to see how that works out. So let's go ahead and jump into the next tree over here. This is the Cold Money tree. Let's take a look here. Alright, up first we got Avalanche. Every time you or your shard deals cryo damage for the first time to an enemy, you gain a stack of Avalanche. You deal increased cryo damage, increased freeze chance for every stack that you have, and they begin to decay if you haven't done cryo damage for a short time, and they decay quickly if you deal incendiary damage or enter fight for your life. Then you got Cold Front. Whenever your shard damages an enemy, it has a chance to create a cryo nova, so that's pretty nice. Seems like you're going to be constantly doing ice damage with this tree. Short Summer. When your shard damages an enemy, you gain a stack of Short Summer. Wow, that's hard. That was a tongue twister. When your action skill ends, you begin losing the stacks. You get increased cooldown rate, increased gun damage. That's, okay. Alright, then you got Slam Augment, called Cold Wind. Your slam attack deals increased knockback, but decreased damage. But again, you're going to be doing insane freeze damage anyhow, so it's not going to matter. Frigid Touch. Whenever you or your shard deals cryo damage to an enemy, there's a chance that the damage will heal you, so that's pretty nice. The lower your health, the greater the healing. So that could come in handy. Let's see. Polar Vortex. Whenever your shard damages an enemy for the first time, it creates a singularity, pulling in nearby enemies. Each attack by your shard after that has a chance to create another singularity. That's constant. Nova, or not Novas, but singularities. That's pretty awesome. Frostbite. Any enemy damaged by your shard takes increased cryo damage for a few seconds. That's, pretty run-of-the-mill there. Fragment Rain. Whenever you use your action skill, it spawns ice fragments that fly out toward nearby enemies. Every time your shard damages an enemy, there's a chance that the shards will split and hit others there. Cold Adventure. Deal increased crit hit damage. Additionally, every time you score a crit hit, while your action skill is active, you actually increase your action skill's duration. So you're going to want to combine that skill with your sniping tree skill if you are me, and I am going to do that. Let It Go. There's your Frozen reference, in addition to all the other cryo references here. But the Let It Go skill makes it so the enemies near you while your action skill is active, they do decreased damage, so that's pretty nice. Looks like it decreases it pretty good too there. Winter's Fury. Whenever you use your action skill knockback, you knock back. Whenever you use your action skill, you knock back all nearby enemies. It's just like boom, they're instant knockback. That's pretty awesome right there. That could come in handy. Whiteout. Your shard gains increased damage, increased cryo status effect damage, and increased freeze chance. I think you're pretty good on all your freeze chances. And then the capstone is Winter Tide, a kill skill. After killing an enemy, all of your guns deal cryo damage along with any other element that they normally deal for a short time. If your gun already does cryo damage, then it does additional cryo damage. So let's see, it looks like additional cryo damage by 25%. So that could be potentially pretty awesome right there. So let's go ahead and jump into the right hand skill tree. Are you being served? And this one is a very interesting skill tree as well. Getting things started in this skill tree is Duchess. Killing an enemy grants you a stack of Duchess. You gain bonus accuracy for each stack of Duchess you have. All stacks are lost on the death of you or your servant. So it looks like you get bonus accuracy there per stack. The max is at 40. Indentured Servitude. You press and hold a button to offer a contract to other players. If another player accepts the contract by melee attacking you, then he or she becomes your servant, and you become his or her master. The contract ends when one of you dies. You deal increased damage with all gun types when you have a servant. Your servant gains bonus shield capacity. So everybody wins with that skill. That's a really nice one to have there. And it looks like if that's a +1, I'm guessing, then it's going to be, you get 15% gun damage and your teammate gets 10% shield capacity. Valet. When your servant kills an enemy, you gain a stack of Valet. You and your servant gain bonus reload speed based on the number of Valet stacks that you currently have. It looks like the cap for that one is 40, and you're going to get reload speed for each of those stacks. Protect your assets. Increases shield capacity and max health for you and your servant. That's pretty run-of-the-mill there. And then up next you got, let's see, you first. When you or your servant suffers health damage, it is instead dealt to your partner's shield if available. Also, any damage dealt to you that would force you into fight for your life is instead dealt to your servant unless he or she is in fight for your life. So that has potential to really mess up your teammates too, so you got to be careful with that one. Quality, not quantity, increases your damage and fire rate when using blue rarity or better guns. Also, you suffer damage and fire rate penalties when using green or worse guns. So you're not going to want to go down this skill tree starting out, I'm guessing. Excellent shot, madam. When your servant shoots an enemy, then that enemy becomes set up. If you then shoot that enemy who is set up, that enemy will suffer additional damage. And setup is then consumed. The additional damage is normal damage and based on your level. You may only trigger Excellent Shot Madam once every few seconds. It doesn't really say what the actual damage percentages are. I'm guessing that that's going to be fairly substantial though, because that's halfway down the tree. Next to Cleanliness. Increase your damage and reload speed with all guns that are not incendiary, corrosive, or explosive. So that's pretty interesting. All Glory to the Master. When you kill an enemy who was first damaged by your servant, then you convert one stack of Duchess and Valet into one stack of Glory. You and your servant gain increased crit damage for each stack of Glory that you have. And that caps out at 500, so there's potential there to do some pretty good damage. That's like in the 200 percentile, I would think. I'm not great at math, so... Alright, keep your chin up. Killing an enemy causes your servant to gain health. When your servant kills an enemy, then you gain health. So it's another one of those skills where everybody kind of wins with that one. No real harm done to anybody. Pod Snappery. Improve shield recharge delay and fire rate. The lower your health is, the greater the bonus. That's kind of a, I don't know, kind of a boring sounding one there. Save the Queen. When an enemy melee attacks you, then he becomes marked with Save the Queen. If your servant damaged a marked enemy, they spelled damage wrong there, then an enemy suffers cryo damage and the mark is consumed. Your servant may only trigger a mark every few seconds. The cryo damage is based on the skills rank and the master's level. That says, yeah, quote unquote, we have a quote. There cannot be any more quote. I'm thinking they haven't finished that yet. A backhand, remember, this is the capstone. This is a melee override. So you melee to perform a backhand to remember. It's called a backhand to remember. Enemies are knocked back and suffer cryo damage. Allies are suddenly highly motivated and gain increased movement speed, reload speed, and aim speed. Also, a motivated ally kills. If a motivated ally kills an enemy, it triggers all of your on-kill skills. What? This character, depending on how you spec, obviously, has major OP possibilities. Obviously, sniping is going to be her thing, and man, I cannot wait to start sniping with her. I'm excited for this one right here. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and talk about the price point on this character. She is $9.99 unless you have the season pass, in which case she will be free with the season pass. The season pass itself is $29.99, and if you are a diehard Borderlands fan, then that's, probably worth it because you'll get the Handsome Jack, you'll get the Baroness, you'll get the Holodome DLC, plus there's a upcoming campaign DLC which they sort of hinted at the PAX South panel the other day. I honestly do feel that she's worth $9.99 because there is a lot of variety that you can achieve with the different skill trees that she has. Now, granted, some of these skill trees may have changed since I got this information, so, grain of salt and all that. But, yeah, I really honestly think this one is going to be worth it. I think that that's going to be a lot of fun. Now, having said that, they do need to put some of the other sniper rifles in the game that are missing, like the Machine, the Razorback, and what was the other Cherami? So yeah, I'm excited. This has got me actually looking forward to some more stuff from Borderlands, the pre-sequel. It started to feel like it was getting a little bit stale. There's not a whole lot of in-game. We're missing fast travels. We need stuff. We need stuff, Gearbox. Put in some more fast travels. We don't want to have to run across the frickin' map to get to an area, and we want to be able to farm bosses. But this character right here is a huge step in the right direction. So kudos, Gearbox. Make this happen. Looking forward to it. Thank you guys for watching. Please take a moment to click that like button, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.